co-founded the Cooper River Bridge Run, as well as the Charleston Running Club many years ago. Now, famed running coach Terry Hamlin has a new book called Building a Better Runner. I sit down one-on-one with the coach for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and download my free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Terry Hamlin, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you, Quintin. I appreciate you having me here.
I appreciate it greatly. Obviously, you are the author of Building a Better Runner. You are a realtor, co-founder of the Cooper River Bridge Run. I had no clue until just a second ago. You founded also the Charleston Running Club, and obviously you're USATF and RRCA certified.
I am indeed.
Who else is Terry Hamlin these days?
Terry is a guy that never slows down.
Oh, wow.
I love working, and now I'm at a point in my life where I get to do more of what I want to do in life and still make it a productive job and productive for society. And writing this book was one of my bucket list things to do.
Wow.
And as a result of it, I've had lots of people reach out from all over not just the country, right, but the world, asking me to coach them. And so I had been a certified coach for a long time, and I said, yeah, I think I'll start coaching again too. So I'm on the go all the time.
All the time. What are those things that you want to do right now?
I want to see more people get fit, stay fit, and in turn, I believe that improves their lives, period. I believe that fitness begins with body, mind, and soul.
That's right.
Like the old saying goes, and start with that body, get that body fit, and those neurons will start to activate, and pretty soon you're as active as I am and even more active than I am.
I do my best. And I know, obviously, from Amazon, it says this. Terry Hamlin began to run, to basically stay in shape for surfing.
Yes.
He went on to the University of South Carolina. I was just there last week, where he was offered a partial scholarship in his sophomore year and accepted. He's always considered himself a road racer. What do you consider yourself now when it comes to running?
I consider myself now a coach. I decided that my really hard training days I was going to put behind me when I turned 40.
Wow.
I gave myself that amount of time because I knew physiologically it's harder to improve unless you're starting running at age 40.
Right.
Well, I've been running since I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And I picked a 5,000 meter race when I was 39 years old, and I started training hard for it. And at 39 years, 10 and a half months of age, I won it.
Wow.
And won that 5,000 meter race. And I said, I'm done. And so I continued, of course, to run. And 10 years ago, I had an incredible freak accident and lost my left leg.
Oh, my.
And but that didn't slow me down. I lost my leg in May of 2010. Wow. I had some secondary infections and things and blood clots and all kinds of serious episodes. But by November, they were able to stabilize me well enough to fit me with a prosthetic leg. And so they fitted me with a prosthetic leg at Floyd Brace.
Oh, yeah.
And the first words out of my mouth were, when do I get my running blade? And Larry Wiley, the owner of Floyd Brace, started laughing. And he said, we've had your running blade since the day they took your leg off because we knew that this was going to be an issue with you. And a company named Freedom knew who you were, and they have offered you a very nice high-tech carbon fiber blade. And I said, well, how much do those things cost if you had to buy one? He said about 38 grand. And I said, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I said, it's free? And he said, yes. And I said, let's roll.
Right.
Well, I proceeded to start running with it. And before long, I was coming down the bridge, and the old Terry came out. And I said, let me just see what kind of giddy up I still have in here. And so I was cranking out down under 5-minute mile pace coming down the bridge on this blade, and I broke it. Only the second person to ever break a carbon fiber blade. And so they replaced it with one that had a strut in it that prevented it from bending so far. And so that one is the one I wear now.
Wow, amazing. I know two friends, Frank Shorter and Steve Prefontaine, were having great success on the track and road, so Hamlin upped his mileage in 1974. When another friend, Bill Rogers, won the 1975 Boston Marathon, Hamlin began to focus on the sport even more and learned all he could through his biochemistry and psychologically dual major about what made him and other runners tick. What makes you tick right now as a runner?
I think it's something that I've done for so long that it is Terry Hamlin. You know, I wake up in the morning and I'm still that 25-year-old guy. And my dad was a wiser man than I gave him credit for being, don't we all? You know, he told me at one time, and he had been a very good athlete. He said, you will always be in your mind your best year of your life. He said, your body may not respond, but you'll still be that person inside. And he was correct.
Wow.
And so I get up and I'm still that 25-year-old guy until I go, ooh, boy, that's tough.
Yikes. Right. I understand that. And I know, obviously, Hamlin, and they said this too, Hamlin was ranked in the top 20 distance runners in America in 1979. He won dozens of races from the mile to the marathon. In fact, a team he put together in 1978 still holds the United States 24-hour relay record. In 1977, while working full-time as a chemist at Medical University of South Carolina, Hamlin and Dr. Marcus Newberry put together the famed Cooper River Bridge Run.
Yes.
How did that happen?
I was the supervisor of the electrophoresis laboratory in the Medical University, and I had formed the Charleston Running Club in February of 77. In the late summer of 77, Dr. Mark Newberry joined the club, and he was the dean of the College of Medicine at that time. One day he walked into my lab and he said, I've got a question. I said, sure, Doc, what? And he said, what do you think about us putting together a race from Mount Pleasant across the Cooper River Bridge into Charleston? He said, because part of our mission here at MUSC is community health. And I said, we can do that. And that's exactly how it was born.
Wow. What is the biggest difference between 1977 and right now when it comes to the Cooper River Bridge Run?
Numbers. Numbers. I would never have dreamed that we would have seen the incredible support and participation that we have in this race. And that is because we diversified the race. We put in a walk. They honored me, though I fought it tooth and nail, but they did. They honored me with something called the Mobility Impaired Division. So people like me who are amputees or have other issues are recognized for their participation in the sport. And we wanted everyone to be there. In fact, the walk came about. I was running in the back then. I would be in the top 10 or top 15 runners. And I'd see all these people standing on the sidewalks, and I thought to myself, I bet a lot of these folks would like to be in this race, but they don't run, but they walk. Why don't we put in a walk? And so Julian Smith, our late race director, had the foresight to actually do that, and he pulled that off.
And that's how I started back in 2000 with the Bridge Run, and I've been doing it for the past 15 years now. At that same year, I know that you created the Charleston Running Club, like you just mentioned, one of the best running groups in America, and I agree. How would you describe the Charleston Running Club now in 2020?
I think it's more well run. Back then it was much more, I'd say, sort of not just slack. It was just informal. We put on a lot of races. We did a lot of charity work. We did a lot. But now it does much more. It's much more structured now. It has more to offer the community now. And so that it's been for the better. That's usually if you start something rolling that is a positive thing and it gets in the right hands and keeps getting in the right hands, then it continues its mission.
And also, I want to go back to that because obviously, Hamlin is obviously you are a full-time realtor here in Charleston, South Carolina, and coaches runners interested in becoming the best runner within. How are you a best runner within?
I'm the best runner I can be now within. And when I go out on the roads today, fortunately, I don't have anything to prove except right here. I proved to myself that I am still a runner, despite only having one leg. And people say, what a broad spectrum here. You go from a guy with two good legs to a guy as one leg. How are you different? I said, in here, not a bit, not a bit. I said, when I first got my running blade, I probably fell down 100 times with it in the first few weeks, and I'm not kidding. I would just catch an edge it's like a ski, and I'd catch an edge and boom, down I go. It didn't bother me. I jumped right up, and people would run over and go, "Sir, are you okay?" And I go, "Get off me, I'm fine." You want to race? I don't fall down quite as much now, but I do trip occasionally.
Wow. Yeah, that happens to the best of us. I know, obviously, you have coached 5 runners to the United States Olympic trials and has 2 more on the way as of the release of this book. Let's talk about the book.
Okay.
And it's right here, Building a Better Runner.
Yes.
How do you do that in 2020?
How do you
build a better runner?
Build a better runner?
Yes, sir.
Building a runner has been, the method has been known for decades. But the method got sort of lost in the shuffle of the newest and best thing around society that we are. Something new and shiny comes along and we go, oh, look over there, or look over here. Well, the biochemistry of running has not changed. What we seek to do is build the base endurance of an athlete, be they a walker or a runner. And so I gently improve and increase their mileage, building them up and adding in a little bit of resistance for the phase, what I call phase 1, the distance phase. The second phase is the resistance phase, where I add hills in and I add weight work as well, so that we can balance the core. Because a runner may be a good runner, but if they're not balanced in their musculature, they're not a healthy runner, because they are subject to more injury and overuse injuries are very prevalent in this sport. So I try to balance them out. The next phase is the speed work phase. And people who are serious about this sport, I then put them into the speed work phase, where I add 2 days of fast running. And I mean fast running. One day will be a day of what's called tempo, and one day will be a day on the track usually. I'll give you a for instance of back when I was doing it. I used this program even in the late 70s. It was designed by a gentleman named Arthur Lydiard, who was the coach of the New Zealand Olympic team. And then as we learned more about the biochemistry of how the body adapts to training, I was able to study that and research it and modify my program. And so my program is now pretty much my own, but it does work. And so I've taken runners who were, just normal housewives and college students and things like that. And in a few years, had them running under 3 hours in the marathon. Some of them running under 2:40 in the marathon, and it's a great sport. If you want to get there, I can get you there.
Oh yes, oh yes. Which one of those runners really resembles you? The ones that you've trained?
Um, Bill Rogers is my favorite.
Yeah.
Bill and I are good friends. Bill, of course, was a much better runner than I ever was.
Wow.
Much better. I mean, he was the best. He was the American record holder twice in the marathon.
Right.
And but Bill is like me. He looks at running as play, and I encourage the people that contact me and want to get involved in this sport to look at it as play first, and then as a sport second, because we're much more likely to want to go play than we are to go out and grind out a workout.
Right.
So if they keep that play mindset, they'll be better.
Yes.
And that's how Bill looked at his running, even when he was running 4 minutes and 54 seconds per mile for 26 miles.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. And I know by using the scientific method developed by author and runner, obviously, Terry Hamlin, the book utilizes psychologically biochemistry in periods of stress and recovery to create the most effective program for runners looking to better themselves athletically. How have you been able to better yourself athletically since this book has been published?
I think I stay in shape.
Yeah.
So athletically, I'm fine. I'm okay. But I have my periods where I give myself a little bit of a break. Because if you apply stress all the time, you will break down. So even the best athletes in the world have to step away a little bit. And if you step away occasionally and come back to it, you'll come back refreshed. It's an incredible sport that is a lifelong sport. You can do it forever.
Yeah.
And you may not be as fast, and you may not run as many days or be as competitive, but you can go out there and participate. It's a participatory event.
That's right. That's right. And I know that you want runners to understand how the body works on a kinetic and cellular level. Additionally, he hopes, you meaning you, Terry, hopes to help runners understand that it's possible to remove your frustration with not improving and make the sport of running an exciting and lifelong pursuit, as you just mentioned. How do you then remove your frustration and still improve?
Oh, I think that if someone understands how the body works, I think that frustration is less likely to get a foothold on their mind. If you understand that your cells are only going to adapt by using a certain method and using it properly, then you'll understand how long it's going to take you to get from point A to point B in your improvement, number one. And number two, you won't be frustrated because you're not getting there in 2 weeks. It's going to take you 4 or 5 weeks to get where you want to go, but you can look forward down the line to that point and go, that's going to be your celebration.
Yeah.
And I was sending an email early this morning at about 7 a.m. to one of my runners up in Pennsylvania, and they had a big snowfall, and she was telling me that she slipped and fell on Sunday in the snow, but she said she was more embarrassed. She said her ego was bruised more than her body. And so I said, well, what do you think? And she said, I think I'm a runner. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And I went, bingo.
Yeah. That's amazing. And gosh, you're going to help a lot of people with this book, Building a Better Runner. And how do we purchase this book if we want a copy?
You can go online to Amazon and purchase it through Amazon. You can go to the bookstores around Charleston. I believe Blue Bicycle's got it. Barnes & Noble carries it. You can go to the internet sites of Barnes & Noble or Amazon or Google Books, anywhere, and purchase it. You can come to my website and purchase it. And that's www.coachterryhamlin.com. And scroll down to the bottom and click on the book, and it'll send you right to Amazon. You can purchase it. 5% of the total proceeds goes to the MUSC Foundation for Cancer Research. That's in honor of my late friend and our late race director for the Bridge Run, Julian Smith, and for all of us who have family members and ourselves affected by cancer. We want to try to kick this.
Sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. How have you become a better person beyond running?
I think running has helped to make me a better person, because when a runner's out there on the roads or on the track and they're by themselves, you really do have time to reflect on what it is you feel you want to do and what it is you are in life and why you're here. And I think it made me into a more giving person, because I saw some people who were a lot worse off than I was, particularly after I lost my leg. I saw people who were in the throes of terrible physical maladies. And I said, each one of us has some sort of moral duty to go out and try to make a change in the world. And my little tiny piece of contribution is there, and I try to help one person per day. Sometimes it's 20 people in a day, and but every day it's going to be one. And that's my mission. When I get up out of bed, I say my prayers, and I get up and I'm gone, and I got to find that person. And then I'm a happy camper.
There you go. God bless you as well.
Thank you.
Well, Coach Terry Hamlin, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you, Quintin. It's been a pleasure being with you and
Likewise.
being here today. And I hope that the folks out there will indeed, if they aren't able to purchase the book, to at least help support the MUSC Foundation and support a friend. Go find a friend to support today. Support them by a phone call, an email. Just go out and see somebody on the street that it looks like they're struggling and say hello. And sometimes all it takes is a smile.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.